of other metrics outside of this asset class in order to be able to build his thesis on where we're at in the market and the cycle. And so I do the same thing. I'm looking at macroeconomics, I'm looking at geopolitical conflicts, I'm looking at regime changes, I'm looking at regulation and how things are working across the world and how that's going to affect things. And I come on here and kind of explain my thesis around that and why I think certain things are going to happen. So I don't tend to watch a bunch of the other content creators. I did early on. I will say, when I first got into crypto, that is how I got into crypto. I watched a bunch of other people on YouTube and other platforms, and that helped me, educate myself. They provide a lot of really good information. So if you're new, I encourage people to watch multiple channels, get your information from multiple people, and then come up with your own thesis, thinking critically through things. So, but yeah, it's interesting to see the pivot now that there's momentum returning to the market. B Mark, my man, he says, Mr. Jake Mickle said R3 Corda is dead. What's up? The truth is, laugh out loud. So Mickle doesn't have the same experience with R3. We had something that we worked on with them that I have NDAs around that I can't really talk about. I try to touch on things that I can discuss. I'm not aware that Mickle ever had that interaction or worked with them in that capacity. So, and when I talked to, just for Mickle's, to kind of advocate for him, when you talk to the majority of the other people in crypto, they say the same thing. They really haven't heard anything from R3 since like 2019, 2018. And so there's a lot of reason to believe that it just wasn't successful. They are still around. They're still in business. They have some pretty deep integrations. If you want to go look at Crunchbase, you can see all the banks that were their initial investor. And you're going to be surprised by who's on their cap table. So for them to not be successful after all of those banks invested in them, I think is very unlikely. And maybe they do get acquired by somebody larger than them. I've always thought that R3 would probably be adopted. I mean, they built out Project Ion with the DTCC, so I think that they're going to be making money using that. And then pretty confident that they have some pretty significant integrations for stable coins and other private environments that they've developed with other institutions and sovereign nations. So I do not think they're dead. And Mickle works at Digital Ascension Group, if you guys didn't know that. He is the head of our B2B enterprise on the wealth management side. He was an advisor for an extended period of time. Very sharp, intelligent individual. That was one of the reasons we got along.